Ladies and gentlemen, you remember the famous finance bill that we voted for, and personally I voted no for the finance bill based on a number of reasons. So many reasons that a government should not tax her citizens to death as they are doing. Taxation automatically leads to high cost of living. Overtaxation leads to also unemployment, because if businesses are closed down because of overtaxation, then there will be no employment. I've seen from certain quarters a few individuals with probably little knowledge trying to debate about increasing taxes on imports, especially sugar. I want us to dissect the impact, the consequences, the results of increasing taxes on sugar. Ladies and gentlemen, truth is not truth when it comes from the devil. We were told clearly by the finance chair that the reason why they are increasing taxes on sugar is so that our farmers could get an opportunity to supply canes, sugar cane, to various factories, so that we promote local manufacturing and hence leads to job creation. I agree to that extent. But I want you to dig deeper and think, not at face value. But I want to tell you that increasing taxes on imports, especially sugar, where the consumption rate in Kenya is so high, demand is so high, Kenyans consume 1.14 million metric tons, while we are only capable of producing 610,000 metric tons, which means we need over 500,000 metric tons, which we get from imports. So it means that the capacity to produce sugar can only give us 610,000 metric tons. We don't have the capacity still to produce 500,000 metric tons. Then it means that increasing taxes on imports will still increase the price of sugar in Kenya. Why? Because increasing taxes on imports is only desirable and helpful to Kenyans, especially on sugar, if we have the capacity to manufacture sugar that is sufficient for the 57.5, approximately 58 million Kenyans. But if we still don't have that capacity, then increasing taxes on imports only increases the prices of sugar, and Kenyans will still depend on those imports, because the moment we manufacture 610,000 metric tons and we don't have the 500,000 metric tons, we don't have the capacity to manufacture. It means that the demand of sugar, as is always high, will still be there. And therefore, Kenyans will stop focusing on the locally manufactured sugar, which is only 610,000, will want an additional of 500,000 metric tons, which is imported. So therefore, they will still buy this sugar expensively. Now, if you increase taxes on imports, you cure what we call foreign absorption in economics. Excellent. And you promote, if you have the capacity to manufacture, you promote with what we call in politics, domestic absorption. It means that money does not leave our country. Money circulates within our country. Then it means that jobs will be provided. So the moment you are increasing taxes on imports, you should have the capacity to manufacture, to substitute the imported sugar. I want you to listen carefully, because we don't have time for small reasoning and bird's brain in this matter. So, Kenyans, how is our current situation in terms of manufacture of sugar? We have companies, approximately close to around 17 of them. All these factories that are manufacturing sugar, the likes of Sony Sugar, Mumias, Muhoroni, Awendo, all these companies have been leased out to private individuals. And in these companies, up to date, farmers have not been paid their dues. It means that the companies, the factories are not doing well. Farmers have not been paid. Number two, workers who are working in these factories have not been paid up to date. Look at Mumias, look at Sony Sugar, look at Muhoroni. They have not been paid up to date. So it only tells you that we don't have the capacity to manufacture the required sugar for our population. Therefore, what is next? The factories that have been given the leases for over 30 years have specific interest that they are serving, because it is not normal for a country just to lease companies for sugar to private individuals. It is not very normal to do it en masse the way it has been done to so many companies, which means that they are reporting specifically maybe to one person, and that is where profit is being accumulated. To make matters worse, even in Mumias Sugar Company, every sugar company, we are not manufacturing. Right now, we are not doing enough. Sugar is imported, then they are repackaged in Mumias and in other factories, coming out with that brand and the name. So it means that the sugar that we are increasing taxes on, the imports that we are increasing taxes on, are brought in Kenya. That tax will be factored in the final price of the sugar. Then after that, they are repackaged in Kenya, then sold at a higher value. So it means that we are going to hurt the consumer. Kenyans who are upper kwa ground are the ones who are going to feel the pinch. So the long and the short of this debate is this. If you increase tax for imported goods, you better have the capacity to manufacture to sustain the population, so that you discourage foreign absorption and you encourage domestic absorption. That way you will even create jobs. That way our farmers will be happy. But in a country where farmers are not paid, workers are not paid, if you even discourage imports from our country by increasing taxes, how are you helping our farmers here if you're not paying them now? What is happening? So which means that there are cartels somewhere who sat down somewhere and said that these imports on sugar that is being imported, taxes should be increased on them tactfully so that those individuals could still benefit, because they are aware that we don't have the capacity to manufacture. So therefore, we were being treated with so much misrepresentation of facts. And as I started, truth is not truth when it comes from the devil. That debate is done. So any person mwenye akona manena ati oh Babu, this is this, you are thinking just what type of a brain is that? But anyway, thank you Kenyans, get involved.